Now, Bismillah. I'm gonna talk about click, and specifically, I'm gonna talk about decision problem, which is considered one of the main MP complete problem. Um, First of all, the click problem is the computational problem of findings the clicks. Bismillah. Now I'm gonna talk about the click problem, and specifically, I'm gonna talk about the click decision problem, which is considered as MP complete problem. Uh, Now, what is the click? In computer science, the click problem is the computational problem of finding clicks in a graph. So cliques are subsets of vertices in a way that all the vertices adjacent to each other. Also, we can call a clique as a complete subgraph. So according to the graph which we have here, the subgraph, which is consisted of the vertices 1, 5, 4, and 3, is a complete subgraph of the whole graph. So it's a clique. So that graph has a clique which is 1, 5, 4, 3. In fact, clique has several different formulations. Common formulations of the clique problem include finding a maximum clique. Maximum clique is a clique with the largest possible number of vertices. Finding a maximum weight clique in a weighted graph. Listing all maximal cliques. Maximal clique is a clique that cannot be enlarged. We can't add further edge to it. And solving the decision problem of testing whether a graph contains a clique larger than a given size. So according to the graphs which we have it here, the first graph doesn't have a clique because that subgraph is not complete. The second graph has a clique, but it's not maximal. This means that we can add another edge to it to consist or to compose the clique. The third one has a click, and that click is maximal. This means that we can't add any further edge to it. Also, we have another maximal click for the last figure. One of the most important implementations of a clique is in social network, where the vertices of the clique graph represent people, and the edges of that clique graph represent mutual acquaintance. Uh, so the click graph represents group of mutual friends, where all of them know each other. Another important application for a click is in chemistry, where click finding algorithms have been used to find chemicals that match a target structures and to bind sites of chemical reactions. In these applications, one form a graph in which each vertex will represent a matched pair of atoms, and each two vertices will be connected if and only if and the matches that they represent are compatible. Now, moving to prove click as MP complete, and to prove it as MP complete for any problem, as Amr mentioned in the first video, we must prove that problem is MP, and also we must prove that this problem is MP hard problem. When we talk about the click here, we're talking about click decision problem. So we will verify if it's found or not.